A basement of La Penta. This is WICR.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sports Vault. I'm your host with the most, Jersey Joe Archino, and undoubtedly the man of the opening weekend of the NFL so far has to be the rookie, Marcus Mariota. Now, if you followed my stuff for a long time, you know Marcus Mariota really is a guy who I've watched for a long time, and I must have done over 100 segments leading up to the NFL draft, leading up to his debut in the NFL. And there's never been a doubt in my mind that he was going to succeed at this level, because my philosophy always was, when you look at him in college, look, the knock on him coming in was he's coming into a pro-style offense where he's going to have to huddle. He's going to have to do everything inherently different from the way that he did at Oregon. But I don't think that was ever a fair knock, because when you have a smart guy who's willing to put in the work and who understands the game extraordinarily well and just has a good football understanding, that is going to allow him to thrive at the next level. And what did we see in his first match? Exactly that. 13 of 16, 209 yards, 4 touchdowns. Honestly, as flawless a opening victory for a rookie that you could ask for. And I honestly think, look, Marcus was always going to be compared with Jameis because those were the top two picks. It was, do you go with Marcus, do you go with Jameis? And it just worked out beautifully that we got the both of them facing off against each other in week 1. But I think it's really telling that Marcus and Jameis separated each other within 4 minutes of that game. Marcus and the Titans get the ball first. They go 5 plays, right down the field, touchdown. Jameis Winston, first play, pick 6. Now, folks, that's not a coincidence. Now, Jameis was a fantastic quarterback of Florida State. Of course, there was a lot of off-the-field incidents, but there were also some bad decisions, not just off the field, but on the field as well. That's one thing with Marcus you never got, bad decisions. He threw 4 interceptions his entire senior year at Oregon, 2 in the regular season, 2 in the playoffs. That's one thing you're not going to see with him in the National Football League, and that is an indication of understanding the game of football. And I think when you watched Marcus Mariota yesterday in that opening game, you really saw how fluidly he took command of the offense. You saw the way that he used his hand motions at the line, the way that he had some snap counts which totally threw Tampa Bay off sides. For a rookie like that to have such poise and command over a line, it's really an indication of, look, he's putting in that work. He understands the game. He understands the offense that he's running. And, of course, that's all. I mean, that'll only get you so far. You have to also be able to play. And clearly, when you look at the tight windows he was throwing in, some of those touchdown passes, some of those passes he was fitting into really tight windows, that is spot on exactly what wins in the National Football League. I really cannot think of anything else I saw this weekend that really impressed me more than Marcus Mariota, because, look, I picked Tampa Bay to win this opening game. I thought it was going to be a very run-heavy game for the Titans. I thought they really would just feed the ball to Bishop Sankey, occasionally set up the play action. But no, you could tell right away that Ken Wisenhunt was just giving it all to Marcus Mariota. He had the trust in him, and he just let him go. He let him take full command. And that's the thing you could see. You could clearly see that Marcus had a full command of that offense. Again, you just look at the little things. You look at the way that he drew Tampa Bay off sides with the snap count. You look at the way that his hand motions gestured to the line. You look at the way that he just had poise and the tightness on his throws. It was all perfect almost for a debut for a rookie going up against the guy who he was compared to left and right. It was spot on. And then when you look at Jameis, look, I always believed that Jameis had undeniable talent and undeniable NFL-level talent. The thing that I always worried about with Jameis is decision-making, and clearly that was a big problem in this opening game. His first throw, a pick 6, threw another interception that was huge. But I think, look, it's early. You can't overreact. I mean, you're never as bad as you look in week 1, and you're never as good as you look in week 1. but you cannot deny that you could take a lot away. And for me, really, this first game between the two of them really emphasized the point I've been making all along. Marcus Mariota, there was never should have been any doubt that this was going to be a guy who was going to be able to succeed in the National Football League. He had the work ethic, he had the football IQ, he had all the intangibles to succeed. If you put him in the right position and you have the right coaching staff, he was going to work. And clearly, I think that is what we're seeing. Ken Whisenhunt, again, gives him all the... Because I think whatever we've ever heard from the coaches he's had, Chip Kelly, Mark Helfrich, now Ken Whisenhunt, we see that they have trust. And when you are a guy like Marcus Mariota, you have that trust in him because, again, you look at his turnovers. He's not turning the ball over. He has the work ethic. He understands the game of football so well that he's able to quickly learn at a fast pace, pick it all up. And again, could he make the NFL throws? Could he run in a huddle, conventional NFL offense? Now, we're seeing that he can do that. In week 1, look, I like the pace the Titans put him at, too. They're not going Oregon fast, but they're not going slow. They're playing at a good pace. And right now, I mean, look, if you needed a man of the day for Sunday, I think you have to give it to Marcus Mariota because that was just a remarkable performance. And then when you look at the other side, look, Jameis Winston's got a lot of work to do. I don't think anybody, if anybody thought anything, I think it was going to be, this is going to be a guy who's going to turn the ball over. He turned the ball over a lot at Florida State. I think he will turn the ball over a lot in the NFL, but it definitely wasn't the coming out party you would have wanted. You would have expected either. Look, I don't think a lot of people, even myself, thought Marcus was going to be just lighted up in his week 1 performance, but he did. And again, I think for all the people who ever doubted that Marcus Mariota could succeed in the NFL, I think certainly he proved a lot of people wrong. And again, I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to work ethic. It really does. The talent level only will take you so far in the NFL. The thing that separates a guy from Marcus Mariota and a guy like Jamarcus Russell is that Marcus Mariota knows that he needs to put in that work, and he does, and that is why he succeeds. Jamarcus Russell just thinks he can get by his talent, is lazy, and that's why he's not playing in the National Football League anymore. It's really, at the end of the day, work ethic is the thing. It's why Tom Brady, even with all the things, the people who knock him, that's why he wins. It's why Peyton Manning is the ultimate preparation guy. Preparation and hard work. If you're a quarterback in the NFL, you don't have a lot of downtime. It's all committed to learning, playing the game the right way. And I think right off the bat, Marcus Mariota is on that right step and clearly as good an opener as you could have expected. But starting off with our Sunday recap, of course, with who I thought was the man of the day, we'll continue next with the New York Giants. Look, I know there's a lot of Giants fans out there, and I don't think there's any better way to say it than just it's one of those wins that wounds the heart like no other. And with that, we'll go into the break, and we'll be right back.